The National Guard yesterday ended its deployment along our border with Mexico. As many as 6,000 National Guard troops were deployed at one time along the border. 24 members of Congress wrote a letter to President Bush calling for the National Guard to be allowed to remain on our border until the Border Patrol itself can meet its goal of 18,000 agents and take effective control of that border. Congressman Ed Royce signed that letter to the President and joins me tonight from Capitol Hill. Congressman, good to have you here.
Thank you, Lou.
Well, as usual, when one seems to be elected to the United States Congress, he or she doesn't get much attention from this White House, even if you're in the same party.
And what is particularly sad about this is we've talked to the Border Patrol agents themselves, and they've explained they've had over 700 attacks on Border Patrol agents. One of the great deterrents was having these 6,000 National Guard troops there that helped them with 166,000 arrests, helped them put up fence, helped them build roads, 700 miles of roads, and now that's been taken out of the equation at a time when the drug cartels are increasingly violent on the border. This is a great travesty and danger, frankly, for our Border Patrol. We need to get those National Guard troops back there supporting our Border Patrol.
Well, just out of curiosity, and I'd just like to answer this question, just between you and me, Congressman, no one else will be listening, I assure you. Is this president unaware that Mexico is the primary source of methamphetamines, cocaine, heroin, and marijuana entering the United States?
For some reason, this president believes that sending $1.6 billion to Mexico, and the Democrats believe sending $1.6 billion to the Mexican government is going to help them solve the problem, as opposed to us securing our own border and guaranteeing that meth. Now these troops helped stop 300 pounds of meth and other drugs. So we know how effective spending these resources on our side of the border can be. Lou, I'm in agreement with you. I am astounded by the position of the administration in withdrawing the Border Patrol. All 4 governors along the border who originally questioned this say it's an unmitigated success. We need the National Guard there.
Has President Bush explained to you or to anyone you know in Congress why they did not act to extradite the suspect in the murder of Agent Aguilar, the Border Patrol agent run over by a fleeing drug smuggler and who was held for 5 months in Mexico and the federal government, the U.S. government? This administration did nothing to extradite him?
Inexplicable. Inexplicable, as is the case of Ramos and Campion, the 2 agents that we're trying to get released right now from our prison system. I think the empathy for the government of Mexico on the side of the Democratic leadership and on the president at a time when our American citizens are facing the results, the costs of the drug cartels controlling that border, both in illegal immigration and in drugs coming across that border, and in the crime committed by drug gangs along our borders, our southern borders. This demands the action of the American public in pressing their officials and the White House to get the National Guard back down there on that border.
Well, Congressman Ed Royce, we thank you for being with us here. It's a remarkable situation. I just asked our senior legal analyst if there were any way in which to expedite or accelerate the departure of a lame duck president. He tells me there isn't. What do you expect the result to be in terms of legislation and the direction of the country?
Well, we're trying right now to find an appropriations bill to put this amendment on. But the Democratic leadership has not allowed this year one appropriations bill to come before the House for fear that we'll either increase drilling, increase our supply of gasoline, or do something that might force a vote on border security. And so this is unheard of in the history of the Republic, not allowing one appropriations bill to come before the United States Congress.
So effectively, if I understand you correctly, the United States Congress is now shut down, and we have a lame duck president.
That is exactly right, Lou.
Just want to be sure I understood as clearly as I could. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congressman Ed Royce. Coming up at the